This video is about libusb in Windows. Here it's Windows XP, the 64-bit version. I have installed linrad. It's only 3 files, these 3, and I have an icon here to start it. This is version 04.03, which is not on the internet yet, but it will soon be uploaded. On this computer I have removed all that was installed before, so I can demonstrate that this way. I have a bat file, c.bat, that brings me to c:, dir libusb ***/s means look for libusb something in all directories on this partition, and file not found. That's because I have removed everything. First I will install the linrad.dll package, because that belongs to the linrad installation. And favorites, SM5BSZ home page, and linrad, and set up linrad.dll package. So I click on that and run, next, install, and finish. So now all the DLLs that linrad needs have been installed. I can repeat this search for libusb command, and here the 2 files libusb 0 and libusb 1 have been installed in syswow64. Now I will insert an RTL SDR dongle like that, and Windows found a new hardware, and I don't want to have the dub decoder driver installed, so I cancel that, and instead we install drivers by use of zadig. That's the driver installer for libusb. And we can find that on the internet. Look for zadig USB, for example. And here is the site. And we are running XP. 32 or 64-bit doesn't matter. So I click on this and save it, because this I will use several times, and save it on a folder named installers. Save. Already exists? No. So I had installed it already, so forget about that. Then I go to the installer folder and run zadig, and it finds the dub stick and suggests the libusb win32, but I pick the other one, libusbk, and install this driver. And yes, and that was successful. And I can leave this open. And now I try to start linrad. And of course I have to go through the setup procedure. So I'm a normal user, let's say SS, font scale 1, no special priority, and I want a fairly small screen. I set it in percent, and that could be 55 by 55%. And here is Linrand, and I press W to remember setup this far. And I automatically come to the U menu when I press something. And here I select the input. So I set A, and I want the RTL to 2832 USB dongle. That's H. And it takes a long time. And nothing happens until now. So it found the dongle very slowly. I select 2 MHz and the tuner input 0 and the Osmocom constant gain setting and 0 for the frequency correction, and B without port audio, and the motherboard sound card, that's A. So sorry, that's 0. X, W, and then just check that it works. So I press D for SSB. Enter, 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 enter to pick standard parameters. And here we are. It runs, but it takes quite some time for the connection to start. If I had installed libusb 0 first, it wouldn't have worked. That's why I started with libusbk. So exit, and then I awake zadig and change the driver and replace. Yes. The driver was successfully installed. Very good. And now I try Linrand again. And D for SSB. D. Now it runs a little bit faster. But as I said, if I had installed this driver first, Linrand would not have found the dongle. And I don't know exactly why, but that's the case under 64-bit Windows XP. Now I want to install Blade RF. That's from Nuand. So I go here, and I know it's nuand.com. And support. Current Windows installer, and I right click on that and save target in my folder with installers. Save. Now download is complete, so I can close here, and I don't need the site anymore. And not this one either. I don't need that. The zadig installer has installed libusb things on many locations, so I can show that here. And I make a bigger window. So these are the files we have now. And now I will run the Blade RF installer. Blade RF Win installer. No, that's an old one. I put it here. Next. And I install it in the default location and install libusb WinUSB driver. Yes. And maybe I should connect the Blade RF unit first, because otherwise the installer cannot be installed. Sorry, the driver cannot be installed. Next. Upgrade firmware. No, that has been done recently. Linrad is a 32-bit software, so I add 32-bit Blade RF items to path. Next, finish. Then I go here and see and make it big. There. And now, how does it compare? We have got 2 more files, and they are in Blade RF x86 and Blade RF x64. And then again try Linrad and check here that libusb still works. Yes. X and then U to select new hardware, A, and Blade RF is J. Could not load library blade rf.dll. And look for it. And we have it here, and path. Path specifies Blade RF in program files x86. That's something old. So path does not contain what I had expected. I think this is because I have to do a reboot. Path in Windows is some rather mysterious thing. It's written in different places, and I don't know how to get how to fix it without a reboot. Now I have rebooted and look at path, and we have the program files Blade RF in path. So I can now run Linrad, U, A, and J for Blade RF. And here we are. I will not configure it now because there are some more things to look at. Close this and I go here and locate the blade RF. Program files, blade RF, x86, and here we have the DLL files for blade RF. The interesting one is libusb 1. So look for it. Dir like that, and we have the one from Linrod here. We have in blade RF one for x86 and one for the 64-bit system. And so I start Linrod again, and U and A, and look what happens with the blade RF J. It is detected, so I reconfigure Linrod for this. Yes. Set sampling speed. Let's make it 2 megahertz also. And no resampling. Crystal error, no. X, and I save this and press D, and I happened to ask for the direct AD input, and you see blade RF still works. So the libusb, which is only 95 kilobytes in size, it needs support files from Microsoft Visual C, this file, and also some other files. So Linrod finds it, but it doesn't contain an entry point that is needed for RTL, but it does contain what blade RF needs. So we can have this file and we can have the Linrod file. Now if I stop here and then remove this thing, delete, yes. Of course, blade RF will not work anymore. D. The DLL was not found. Okay. So I close that and then run the Linrod installer again. So I reinstalled the Linrod DLL package. Next. No. Finish. And then make sure that I deleted the one from blade RF. x86. Yes, so it's not here. And then make a test again, and that is D. And you can see the blade RF software runs with the Linrod libusb 1, but Linrod does not run with the one that comes with blade RF. Now, which one to prefer? I don't know. They may behave differently, for example, when the USB connector is unplugged, or there may be other differences, but that's not the purpose of this video. I just show that one has to be a little bit careful with these drivers, and some are installed, library files I mean, by zadig, and some come from the program suppliers. I mean, I supply one, Nuand supplies something else. And somebody made the expression USB hell. You are welcome to it. We have also problems with compatibility with USB 3 and all other things. But we can find combinations that work, and I've just demonstrated one here. And this was for the 64-bit version of Windows XP. The 32-bit version is a little bit easier because you don't have any complications when there could be errors in installers placing the 64-bit libraries in the wrong places and so forth.